Senti la Moni, tiene la clave, deja nel duello un tiro diretto!
Runs through this one though. Rocket all the way through into C. He's around the world.
Liz here with Coach Adam of Crew. A very impressive run. Now, the big thing about Crew, the word being thrown around is improvement. I'm curious, what has been the biggest factor that Crew has improved on?
I think that the biggest factor that we have improved on is on our team play. We have a lot of really good individual players, and individual players tend to play like solo play. So working on our team play and understanding the value to playing one for each other, I think that is something that is key for us to win.
Well, best luck on map 2.
Thank you.
Well, I'll give it to you straight, folks. EG aren't beating those slow starter allegations anytime soon. Welcome back to the desk. The diagnosis of this map, it's a grim one. It is a monumental fundamentals diff here from Crew. I think just the shooting was very, very good. We can take it multiple layers deeper, but really, this team seemed well ahead of EG, almost every metric.
The amount of rounds where EG was up, had a good early idea, had something set up, and then Crew turn on the win button, and Heat goes out and kills 3 people. Kesnick goes out and kills 3 people. There was just too many rounds like this slipping away.
I mean, look, it's like a 5v3 round that is, quickly just turned around with a couple of instant kills coming straight in the other way, right?
Look at this stats.
Yeah, it's just 3 kills out of nowhere. Ridiculous that they win 5 out of 7 rounds. Yeah,
and that's
from
around
being in
they
a
were
numbers
up.
deficit. Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
And then, of course, I think what really hammers this home is, on defense, you're not expected to win the majority of the rounds on Lotus, right? And EG finished their defensive half 10-2 down, right? But they have 2 of these clear rounds where they're up, they're instantly stolen away. If they win those 8-4, that's a very respectable defensive half. You can work with that.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, when you're watching that defense, it wasn't even like they were losing those rounds because they were just, whiffing or whatever. It was literally at some point unawareness. It felt like they were completely unaware, and Crew just kind of ran around them at that certain point. They were pushing and taking spots that EG was not ready to comprehend that they were pushed up way beyond what they expected. And a lot of these setups that they were having where they did have Apoth, put his traps on the other side and come back towards A, or trying to run into those trips, it didn't matter because Crew just broke those trips, used all their util to re-clear what's even close, and ended up pushing them way off the site as well. So it was just, they couldn't hold down the sides and they couldn't fall back and retake into them.
I mean, let's have a look at the breakdown here. Give you guys a bit of an idea of just how brutal this was on so many levels. Kesset obviously has a great game. Your boy Jorg, though, right down the bottom there in that raise.
Yeah, I mean, it is just another brutal game for Jojimo, the guy who was so electric the entirety of last year. And I even feel like that number is a little inflated from the second half, getting a lot of util kills. It really seems to me that in so many of these rounds, EG is just behind the time. They're not ready for the pace. Crew will have walked up into space. You see them swing into it. They're not ready. But on top of that, even when they look ready, look prepared to take fights. I'm thinking of rounds where they have crossfires, they have setups, and then one Crew player just swings wider than they expect and just
Melser
dunks on them.
Or Shy. Someone just find multi-kills at A-long constantly.
It was such an across the board just diff in firepower.
And the real issue here is that Jaw is supposed to be the backbone of this EG team, right?
He's the world champ.
He is a world champion. The team, he's the remnants of that roster. So for him to be the player that isn't performing, that is a major shock. But it's been now 3 weeks where he has been a shadow of his former self. And if EG are going to pick it back up, obviously they have way more issues, but Jaw has to be able to find himself soon.
She had her head in her hands at multiple points throughout that game. I'm very curious to see what our EG coach has to say heading into map 2 after that brutal opener.
Liz here with Potter from the EG. Now, Derek talked to me before the game about those slow starts that you wanted to work on. Talk to me about what happened today, and did the work out?
It did not. It definitely did not. We got bullied around in there for sure, but I think for us, the good news is that we know what kind of advantages we had. The pistol round to that first gun round on that defense, it did crumble, but again, 5 versus 3 scenarios for us once again. So coming on the breeze, we're going to have that attack side start, so hopefully that sort of gives us a little bit of cushion to where we can control the pace and have a better start.
Well, best of luck, map 2.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, look, fair enough. Potter saying we had some big opportunities, but we got bullied around. And how do you fix things in between maps when you're struggling on a fundamental level against your opponents?
I don't know if they're going to be able to. We're going into Breeze. This is the flippiest map in the pool. It is the map where individual performances, duelists taking over, can have the most impact out of anything. It is so reliant on long-range fights, on wild aim duels a lot of the time, and that's where EG was struggling. When it came down to that chaos, when it came down to those straight-up fights, they were losing every time.
Yeah, I mean, Breeze is literally just a deathmatch map, in my opinion. Like, you literally go in and you DM, and if based on just firepower alone, from what we saw, it is way, way, way more obvious that Crew can easily run away with it just with shooting back.
But beyond just the firepower on Breeze, it's also about the fundamentals, about how you're setting up your duelist player, how your KO is throwing flashes over the top. And that's something that Crew was actually very good at, I think, on their Lotus. Even when it looks chaotic, even when sometimes it is those crazy rounds, Heat and Kesnet together do a great job of trading each other, of setting each other up for success. I think that the Crew fundamentals and team play, like Coach Adam was talking about, are in a great place right now that'll thrive on Breeze.
Every single game, every single map that Crew play, I feel like they're just attracting a larger and larger group of believers, right? Like, because at the start of the year, it's like, oh, they win a game, but it's Crew, you know, we'll see. Maybe they're better than last year, but every single time, I feel like they have shown clear improvement, and they're looking very, very strong.
The Croupium tanks are filling.
Oh, yeah. They're about to overflow. It's almost a hazard.
Adam's talking a lot about team play. It feels like that's the part of their game that they shored up the most, but there's already a question of how much of that we actually got to see on Lotus at all. I mean, that doesn't seem like they're being put under the level of pressure where that could shine through.
I think we actually did, because I think the majority of rounds that Crew was winning were off of their team play, was off of having good ideas on how they contacted, slowing down the rounds. But the rounds we remember are going to be those 5v3s, those big moments where EG kind of threw it away to individuals.
Yeah, and also, like, the word team play, I think, can mean a lot of different things. Like, is that just how you coordinate your timings of an exec? But to me, what it is when the rounds are scrappier, how is your awareness? How is your trust of another? Like, are we holding all the smokes that can be stepped through? And on a map like Lotus, that is a scrappy map. That is a brawly map where you're fighting around rubble and mount consistently. And those are the fights where they were coming out on top.
Yeah, coming into Breeze, EG really needs to step up their game of understanding what is open and what the loophole is. Even in their 5v3s, the issues that they had was they were just unaware, I said this earlier, that these spots were open and their teammates were not ready. Also, they did kind of do a little bit of losing the fights, but, like, you know, Crew did really good. When it comes to Breeze, the way that they play, on their defense side for EG, they could step it up a little bit if they're actually able to hold their sides. The rotations are so long for the other rest of the team from Crew to be able to push in. If Crew is just staying together and holding it down, holding W, like EG, I think they should just play their strength. They should play together. When they do get those 5v3s, it's a lot easier to turtle back into sites and just hold back. Whereas on Lotus, you feel like you have the need, because it is a 3-site map, to get more information.
And I will say, too, I think one of the strengths I have seen in EG, especially thinking back to week 1, is a lot of their site anchoring. Like, what can a guy like Nature do when he's getting overrun on a, say, APOP 2? It's not just always been about the lurks. You even saw in that defense half of Lotus, him coming up big with the Guardian, finding a 3K.
Just a slight delay there on stage as we're waiting to jump into the game, so we have a little bit more time to yap it up. Agent Select coming up in a few moments here. And for EG, they are going to go for the Yoru here and the Astra.
Okay, a lot of teams have been kind of trying out this comp. It was first really being seen by Gen G in Pacific and at Masters Madrid. Some of the really good strengths of this comp is the way you can combine together with that Yoru. You can setting up a star, setting up a teleport deep. They played the version, I believe, without the Astra.
Yes.
So, remember?
Yeah, with Santa Astra, yeah.
Yes, but this is the version that Gen G was playing. Because you have that long-range cross-map Astra utility, you can combine that with your Yoru TPs and get a lot of great ideas, but you're giving up your Sentinel to do so.
Yeah, I think it's totally fine, though, because of that flexibility you have, and I want to see people look in deeper of it. Yoru flashing out of that smoke, spamming out from that smoke off of Sova darts. There's so many layers of util.
Ready for map 2, everybody? It's time for EG to dig deep and see what's left in the tank. And, of course, it's time to head back over to Brennan's Sideshow on the call.
We're going to see that map 3. It's going to start here on Breeze, and as Des has already been mentioning, you know, it's an interesting comp coming out from EG. They're running it, you know, Mimi mentioning that Gen G were running it as well. It's being run by a lot of teams, actually. The first time I saw it being played was FPX in China, actually, running this one. And they had an interesting couple of execs. They have the cool ideas, right? They use the Yoru to TP in for the Astra smokes. They flash out of them. They all peek at the same time. It's a pretty common play that they ended up doing, and it does give you a lot of options for that. It gives you more options for Hall's control. You start yapping really about the map design overall for Breeze at this point, but I think it has enough complexity to it and enough curveballs that maybe there's a chance for EG here, but it's got to start at the beginning here. No more slow starts to begin, and look at that. Full group up, Josh. It looks like B is the goal for them.
Yeah, not just a full group up, but 2 shock darts, 2 snake bites bought on the pistol. This says to me, they wait, fast B exec, play post plan. But if Crew are going to push elbow, that could certainly scupper plans and force EG to adapt.
Shy's just jiggling this. Rico Star pulled back, a bit of damage from the pistols. No acknowledgement, really? No sound cues being made. In fact, they've just walked all the way back up and even spotted 1 or 2. No way! Bit delayed there. Bob just peeking, thinking potentially that the site was clear. Now, setting their sights here forwards. Trips just tripping them up quite literally here, just getting caught and strayed and tangled. They can't quite find these kills. What is going on here?
Well, that's not a good start.
That's not a great start. Yeah, it's not a great start.
Double sheriff sport for Crew on their pistol round defense. They immediately tried to do something disruptive. EG were looking to try to take control over towards tunnel so that they could set up, instead of going for what you were talking about, Bren, with the Yoru TP into the Astra smoke, kind of in the back corner of ladder. Instead, they were looking to just TP to pillar and see, I think, if they could get just a free plant off, basically, and play the post, but a disaster to begin with. And you heard Potter talk about the fact that she really wanted the attack side of Breeze to be a little bit of a different change of pace for them. Here, it's a bit of an audio fake. Nature teleports away, and that's supposed to make Crew think that this action's happening on A, when in fact, here they go.
Trip, again, not being dealt with here.
There they go.
Yeah, there they go.
Get someone in to sponsor the Flawlesses. Might have a
We're getting quite a bit of value, I think, from this game.
Yeah, this is brutal so far, but this is the first round where EG are going to have rifles.
Who?
We need to see big performances with this composition from Jorg and from Nature. There's no questions either way. And I think especially Jorg, because Nature could play in a more supportive manner to try to set up Jorgamo to go for those aggressive peaks.
Yeah.
But they need somebody, particularly one of the 2 duelists, I think, to be firing.
Shy just alternating a setup here. Pretty heads-up play by him. Killtrip's got on value with the choke for multiple rounds here, but he's actually gone down early. But that fight, still, tooth and nail.
That's just a timing shot from Klaus, and Jorg peeks into it. It's a nice play what they go for. You know, they're setting up to have Kesnit get on top of this wall so that he's got the long sight line down mid. But Shy goes with him. Kesnit rotating around, picking up Apoth, who's gone for the lurk. The team play on display.
This is really all on Klaus. There's not too much util to try and stop them and stun them in through that choke point. Should be that open B side and playing that full retake now for Crew.
But look, yeah, this retake is coming through so fast.
Yeah.
And it's going to deny post-plant positions from Superman if they wanted to fall back. They're getting surrounded.
Surrounded and Derek, I mean, across their placement. Not expecting that the players could be that fast up onto the flank. Superman seeking a reposition, trying to take matters into his own hands. Now Fate potentially in his hands as well to make the most of this one, but traded out through the main angle. Now Nature lined him up for him. 15 health though, and he's up against the big dog himself, Kesnit. He's sniffing, he's hunting. The reposition of the gate crash might have bought him a few critical and crucial seconds.
Kesnit has to wonder whether that was a fake. Now should have a good idea.
Kesnit now, time ticking against him. He's got half onto defuse. He actually has bought himself a slight window. Nature peeking, not quite, but still surely done enough. But Kesnit realizes it. The fist bump's coming out prematurely there. Red Bull clutch, but what an expensive round for EG.
This isn't over.
There's a concept called playing to your outs, where Kesnit, the only way he wins that round is by getting onto the defuse, and instead he was looking for the kill.
Yep.
Maybe getting a little...
Playing to your outs. It's a concept, Josh, called playing to the scoreboard. And I like to embody that one in ranked.
But EG managing to take a situation where it wasn't looking great for them and turning it around. We've seen actually a couple of times that the only major flaw in what Crew are doing in terms of their team play is how they double swing together. Here's a flash peek. Great beginning for Nature.
Yeah.
But out of 7 times on Lotus where they went up a player, they only won twice. The desk gave you that stat in between the maps.
That's what Potter was in real disarray, I think, as well with that interview that Liz was doing. Talking about just unable to convert those advantages when they get them.
Yeah, Potter was talking about the 5v3s. I mean, you're not just up 1 player there, you're up 2 for anyone who doesn't care to do the math.
Not me. I hate learning. Here we go. Dimensional drift in through the site. Going to be picking out some of the positions now. These crew players, you can feel it. Look at that. I mean, 3 spotted, swarmed up, as well as that by the dart and a flash. It's all combined up. Now, EG still choosing to commit into this one. They have 1 more blind ready to work with. Superman. The lurk all the way through Horse definitely pays off here. Dash to cut it all up here. Klaus feeling that heat, feeling that pressure out through the back. And that's Derek, Guardian in hand. 2-2. Nice evened up scoreline. Better beginnings now for EG.
Are they beginning to believe? We're seeing the last couple rounds some big shots being hit by EG players. Snappy shots as well. 2K spray down. That's a nice flick from Superman. Followed up by a great Guardian shot at the end here by Derek too. Myrna was talking about the fact that she feels this map descends somewhat into deathmatch at times.
Oh yeah.
But if you're able to hit, maybe it was just a slow beginning for EG.
Question of the confidence.
Apot's bought an outlaw here, Brent.
He could do some damage.
Certainly if Crew go exploring, he's watching over towards the B side of the map.
A lot of teams been experimenting with the outlaw a bit more recently.
Yeah, they have. And Crew have certainly been a team that's been pushing on defense. They've walked out elbow. I mean, they tried to do it on the pistol, on round 3 as well. Seems like a sensible idea for Apot.
For Crew, just to gamble stack onto the B site. The A is going to be where EG looking to land. Flash through with a drone. All comboed up, making sure they clear the corners here. So Jorg, Dash just about fading. Second wave of that util now with a dart. So they really do have a lot of peace of mind, knowing that they picked the right site. Corner Superman doesn't die there. That's 145. Sheriff shot straight to the cranium, and the martial shot's following through. And now they are quickly approaching his position. Dart. It's got to be broken. Derek's there, making sure that he can cover for this one with a jump spot. They thought he was already out of the position and out of the fray of the fight. Superman's dropping down into mid. And somehow just found 2. They're laughing about that, Akina. That is a silly, silly scenario.
I don't know how they've managed to change their mentality so much from Lotus to Breeze, but they do seem to have freed themselves up a little bit.
Look at this here from Superman. I don't know if we'll catch this. He's like, oh, hello. Oh, hello. That's excellent.
If Superman and Derek keep hitting, then we really are going to have a challenge for Crew. Kesnit picked up the operator here, looking to try to take this angle down halls. The compositions that run the...
Whoa! That is aggressive. That's a spike drop down as well. I mean, Jogma had that one into his hands. Hunter's Fury is going to be used, but that's really to no avail.
Yeah, that was an incredibly fast beginning to the round.
Oh, no. Lurk kill is being caught. Apot just going walkabouts into mid. Kesnit, they're going to fight straight to them there, but a dash eventually going out. And the shot dart's going to be forcing the fight out into the open. Last player left is Superman. No chance there. What a rapid end to the round.
Yeah, fast beginning, fast ending.
Yeah.
Not afraid of making enemies. So as quickly as things looked like they were going well for EG, they've let it slip again. It's an early round play. There's a lot that you can do with the Astra. You can run slow rounds where the smokes allow you to lurk up holes and create a lot of pressure on the sites. But you can also try to do these fast rounds where a recon dart, a pull, a stun, something like that sets up Jorg for aggression. Didn't quite work there though. And a great shot from Heat.
Yeah.
For anyone who's unaware too, Heat had never played Initiator before joining Crew. He'd only played Duelist. And he was in a spot where his reputation was not in the greatest of positions, considering the weird way in which things ended on MIBR last season.
Yeah,
so
the rumors that were circling around him.
So the fact that he's just instantly come out looking amazing on these Initiator picks and firing as if he was a Duelist.
Especially so, given that other players have attempted the same. They haven't quite come up with the goods there, but this is a fight and a push now in towards the A side. Again, it's been giving up a lot of ground for the front section of it. The Hunter's Fury didn't do enough to push back that plant, but Kesnit straight into the fight. Look at that with the updraft. Doesn't choose to just try and take the fights towards him. This time, there's that raw gunplay at work. He's right behind him, the right click missing. Bailed out by Heat. 2 players left to do the work here for EG, but there's really no chance to get him off that one. Full defusal.
There is some unbelievable pace with Crew.
Trying to speedrun it, man. Gold split 112. Never even seen the 113.
They took so many fights and just won them all here as they tried to retake. In theory, the EG post plant should be quite potent. They have the potential of running Viper post plant. They have a pull on the spike as well.
Yeah, they have so many tools.
They should be able to buy time for either those to win the round or those to buy time for post plant. Lurk plays something of that idea. And yet, once more, their inability to rifle really allowing Crew to bulldoze over them.
What was that one landing? Maybe the choke? Oh, breaking the cam.
That's awesome.
That's a cool one. That is a cool one.
Plenty of cam spots, though, for Shy to be able to use.
Just to break the one that watches, though, for the nest cross, right? It's common enough. Look at that updraft trip. I mean, that is purely to punish Jorgamo when he goes to this updraft dash, which he's been going for consistently.
He's not going to this time, though. Jorg taking an explore through halls. He's become the lurker.
They're making this feel like a B hit, I think. They need a few Asher Stars in through the back of the sides. Not really too much more danger towards this Apoff. He's taken fights and liberties up through the gut of Breeze. Same with Jorgamo.
And it's that shock dart at the beginning that allows Apoff to do that. Thought the shot was good there from Kesnit.
Oh my, a lot of whiffage going on. Kesnit now, he's being squeezed slowly but surely here. Plenty of players now approaching the position, trying to watch for that one. Superman, just the back being caught, but eventually the trade. Apoff now, extra layer, scrutiny applied. Melser so damn aware, recognizing that could be a possibility. Jorgamo needs to get the hell out of there with the dash now active. Did get this one kill, and he is back through main. Oh, greedy, picking him up, opens it up to the angle. Shy removes him. 2 versus 2. Melser takes out Derek Nature. Last one left, and no shot, no chance for him.
These more supportive players on Crew are turning up.
Yeah.
We've seen Melser win rounds for them multiple times. He said he felt more confident now that he's given up the reins of the IGL for the squad. He said he felt better about his own individual play, not having to control the reins of Crew.
Spike planted.
But yeah, that is a weird decision from Jorg. He only just got his second kill of the map. And then just kind of opened himself up to getting punished again.
They're so willing to give EG access to the front section of A, all of these sites, and just trying to flood players in.
Yeah.
Hard and fast, trying to play the really, quick tempo in terms of their retakes.
And the thing is, normally you can't play that quick on the floods every time because you're...
I mean, like Breeze.
At the risk of sounding obvious, when Valorant, you're supposed to stand still when you shoot, when you're playing Valorant. So if you just hold W at your opponents the entire time, they're going to be able to find really easy angles to punish you doing that.
Not just that, the map's massive. Rotation times are increased for the defensive players.
Sure, but Crew, I think, are playing the macro well enough that there are a lot of players in the backside of A. But normally, people are going to be cautious as they scale back up to get into retake positions, whereas Crew are just running at them. And then once they notice an EG player, they're like, oh yeah, let me stop and just kill this guy real quick. There isn't really that threat. You need to put a little bit of trepidation into the way that Crew play in order to give yourself more time for the post-plant utility to really work. So, again, to me, it comes down to hidden shots. We have seen some big rounds from Superman and Derek earlier on. Nature 2 with his double spray down. We need to see more of it. At the moment, Crew, it's just a quantity of rifling that they're winning. Have you got a shock dart for that one?
Unlikely. Pit as well being set up.
I got the spike.
It's just a clone that's been sent flying forwards.
One day, Brent, we are going to get the fake clone play of a lifetime in pro matches.
Someone is
going to walk through a pit and just...
Maybe today?
donk walk their way through a trip as
Maybe
well.
today. I mean, nature shouldn't do it now. You only get the one clone if he's been tracking it. It's like, wait a second.
One day, though.
And slow mid-take by EG. They do have a lot of ground here. And so Melser does have the safety, at least playing inside of his pit. Shy as well now to collect these kills with the crossfire setup. And Klaas is so fast with him, making sure that they've got that crossfire there.
A nice idea with the mid to be on the eco round for EG, but Jorg again not really finding those opportunities to take the fights or win the fights. Not at the tip of the spear. That's what you would have liked to see in that situation, I think, is, you know, have some kind of idea of flooding out through that Viper orb. Jorg instead is going to try to take a fight over on A.
The flash and dash, it's just using the left clicks and the knives.
It ain't there today.
Yeah, it's really not. Just can't quite hit that shot. So Heat and Kesner still kicking. Still a nuisance and a problem. A flawless one for Crew. 6-3 now. Really getting their footing in this map.
Yeah, multiple opportunities there for EG to find an opening in the round, despite their weaker buy. But they just kind of walked through that Viper orb, didn't have a double face onto yellow.
Yeah.
They could have gone for high lows. They've got the jet with the knives. Just doesn't feel like Jorgamo's day. Gotta find it though if EG want a chance of being able to win this series still. Crew are running away with it. Cypher setup's moved over to the other side of the map, mostly on A to play with Melser.
Jorg with this operator, believe spotted there by the jump spot. So Melser gets that info and backs away.
We might be setting up here for a Cosmic Divide A split into Superman pitting the left side of Pyramids. Got that cam to worry about.
Yeah, the cam and the trips as well.
Yeah, but if they're scaling left side of Pyramids, they might not hit that kill trip. That's going to be the left side of Pyramids from the attacker's perspective is generally where you get the better Viper's pit.
Does that horse control? Clone. That's to get broken now. Where now? Surely these main players shot. Missing, going wide. Just trying to exit and flood out of that position onto the high ground. And Derek is really just getting a move on. The Ferrari peak and swing shot. Missing from Jorgamo. 2 versus 3. Here. Being bogged down by Order Cypher utility. And your position is swarmed. It's noted.
Toxins going up.
What is your exit strategy? We're waiting for the fuel of this wall up, but it's about to fade away. And guess what? Kesnet on this flank, hunting them out. Activating the dash, spotting the one, takes it away. Got to know where the second one is at this point. And yeah, Superman, well, he does win his one. Spike's been dropped down. He's got 2 players to deal with here. Doubled up. High-low has to be a miraculous entry from him, but will not be the case. So 7-3 now for Crew.
I'm sorry, you can't persuade me that EG genuinely thought that was their best way of winning a round. To walk Jorg out with the attack side up through a smoke in A main and just hope he hits the shot and then walk through this one as well. The timing's off between their A main and their switch players too. There's no ults invested, no real util pressure. It just looks a mess today from Evil Geniuses.
Dodging the initial wave, they're going for a flash re-peek. And that setup, I mean, the flash was beautiful. Luckily, Nature having that gate crash to get the hell out of there. Now, Sentinel drifting forwards. Picking out the positions here. Shock darts. Allowing them to get entry into the B site.
And here's where we've seen Crew be very aggressive on the retakes before, right? And so how does EG slow them down for long enough?
They are full sprinting through this one. I mean, it's a pop-back play with trying to get Heat to lead the charge here. His ult fading away. He's got 2 just spraying him down, but he is dropped down to his knees, getting that information for the rest of the team. I believe there'll be a res inside, but there is a player next to him here. Derek is being pressured from all sorts of angles. The snake bite almost taking him out. They had to cancel that one. He is just feeling that heat, and finally dropping down a noise cue, giving Shy a perfect opportunity and window for it. Res online, 1 player back and kicking now. Just 1 left to stand. It's Ape-Off. Miles away. Neurofeth reveal his position. Yes, they've got the pull, but it's blocking it. Perfection with the movement. I mean, Crew are flexing on him.
That's so good.
It's been a long time since we've seen something like that being pulled off.
Yeah, the idea is old, but the execution, you very rarely see it actually work.
Yeah.
Plenty of times
so
we've seen teams go for it, but lovely one. Listen, try and pull it off in your rank games. It's more difficult than it looks. It's really easy to just let the diffuser slide past
Look
you.
at this again. Yeah, look at it. Watching him.
Yeah, body blocking to make sure that they don't leave that diameter where you can diffuse inside of. Excellent. Like you said, just styling on him. Rifles back online for the final round of this half. But Potter's hopes that the attack side would do something different for them, I think, have come to naught.
No way. Kesnitz. What is he up to?
All right, another first pick for EG. You have your 5v4. You're not in a bad position. There is no compensation here for Crew necessarily. They didn't get great info. They didn't insert a player.
Poison's off.
So it's just a straight up player advantage. How do you convert?
Trying on the opposite end of the map. Playing well away from the rest of his setup. In fact, B is entirely open. Of course, we know that. There's so much more caution here for EG.
Apoth just got another star online, so he can still seek to use one to help the rest of his team. They are really making sure that they can hit this site.
Yeah. I mean, that's a full committal. Hunter's Fury gets expended just for that side take.
They use the recon as well, so they don't have that to stop the retake from coming through.
Reveal, Derek. Just playing that post plan just from that wide angle. Look at how fast Crew are, man. Just following orders. Sound cues out of pit. It's got to be their last line of defense, really. It's got to be the way that they win this round out. Jogamo to defend his appropriate angles here. Superman off to the side as well. He's got to stay alive. They're spamming away in every position here. This time, EG. Come up with those goods. And 8-4 finish here to the half. Could have been worse, you got to imagine. But listen, they'll take anything at this point.
They got their player advantage. They hit the site. They pitted. And they had Nature defend them. They still had Apoth on a really late post-plank lurk as well. But another spray down from Nature.
Yeah.
I get these moments. They've been few. They've been far between. EG need to pick it up if they've got a chance of still winning the series.
Absolutely. Well, Liz is down in the crowd with some very passionate super fans.
Enough! Thank you. All right. Hello, I'm here with some Crew super fans. If you couldn't tell, do you guys like Crew? Yeah! What was that? My Crew Pata! All right, I have to ask, who's everyone's favorite member of Crew?
Shy.
Why Shy?
He's shy.
I'd have to agree.
What about you?
I have to say Melser.
Why?
He's the closest up for the team all the time.
All right, what's your favorite thing about Crew as a whole?
Shy.
What about you? You're not rooting for NA team. You were here for Sentinels a couple weeks ago, I remember.
Yeah, I was there, I think, like, end of or beginning of March or something like that. But at the end of the day, Crew is where I bleed, bro.
Crew is where you bleed. Why don't you root for EG?
Listen, I respect Potter a lot, I respect Ja a lot, but ever since this guy I became friends with this guy, I had to support Crew all the way.
Oh, so you've been influenced.
I mean, I guess you can say that, but I feel like...
How did this happen? How did this happen?
LCQ.
LCQ! Oh my God, but you guys met here?
Yeah, we met here. We had a huge group out there, and I just met all these guys, and we just vibe each other.
We just loved his energy so much, and we're just like, we gotta join this guy chanting through. And hey, they made it through and made it the champ, so...
Yeah.
Now, I have to ask you, Crew has definitely seen like a transformation from Kickoff until now. What is it like seeing the Crew perform the way they are now?
It's been insane, considering just how they were last year. Making it that run to champs is really, really cool. So seeing them doing really well now is just a lot of fun.
All right, giving me one more cheer for Crew, please. All right, Vamos Crew and Brennan Sideshow. Please take the game back. I can't hear. Is it going back? Hello?
The Vamos, man. I love it. I love it. I mean, Crew, this is a team that, yeah, they had doubters last year. This time they've stepped up massively. And the question is, Josh, are they going to go on a run?
You know, this time, I think they are.
Oh, okay.
I think, listen, you can't doubt what this team is putting together. They still have to face against Loud, and then they're going to be playing against 100 Thieves, I believe, and Lev. But at the moment, the way that they're playing, it just looks superb. It's Apoth to hold them back on this pistol round. They are in so quick.
Does have the backup as well, at least. The Yoru Nature is TP deep into the Kesnet.
It's overwhelming.
It is overwhelming, man. I mean, this entire site just looking like it's playground.
You have to play fast. You have to have enough skill to be able to match them. And you have to make sure that your ideas are flawless, because otherwise Crew are going to pick holes in them.
just picking the right pause into the round as well. Look at that, just waiting for Melser to get the fuel back up so they can get the cross safely and get the plant online. Now drops down, taking a fight, dash forwards by Jorg.
I don't think that was intentional.
That was not intention. I mean, it's not at all. Crew, pistol round. 9-4 now for them. And yeah, to bring back to that conversation topic that we were really just leading into this half. Crew.
What's the ceiling?
That's the question, right? What is the ceiling of this team? Their upcoming matches that they've got are going to be hard ones. They're going to be tested, no doubt. But this is a crew that feels very different. You know, it's the raw firepower revolving around a player like Kesnet. Everybody else can also deliver in those clutch moments, but they're taking those right pauses.
Yeah. I also think we're talking about them being like a new, rejuvenated team, but you've got to remember Crew for quite a while were the top team in the LATAM region.
Oh, yeah.
And not just that, they were one of the only ever teams to beat Loud when Loud were on top of the world. Who do they play against next? I believe it's Loud coming up. So they've already done it in the past with the core of this roster. Yeah, without some of the pieces involved. But they've proven before that they are capable of hanging with some of the best squads in the world when they're playing well. I do think that there's some idea that, oh, it's the same 0-9 crew from last year, we shouldn't really expect them to do too much, but are you watching?
Yeah, certainly just trying to get their way into this side here, but yeah, I mean, Crew, difference maker. Fights taken together by the EG players. Not enough to bail them out. You're right, this Crew is very different with the confidence behind them now. A couple of wins under their belt in stage 1. It's a different beginning, and that can make all the difference in the world, right? When you head into a regular season, you've got that win under their belt relatively early, all things considered. So yeah, these hurdles now, just building upon what they're already doing well, which is setting up Kesnip. The macro play from Clouds of his calling, just being so damn good, to be honest. And they're a team that you can't, dare I say, really anti-strat. I mean, you can know that they try and set up Kesnip to success, but you can know that, but it's one thing to deal with it.
Let's have a look at their game plan here again. It's another fast play, flash recon to try and allow Kesnet to get that opening duel.
Fearless. Look at him. He's jumping past all this utility. Not a care in the world as a drone to try and set this one up, but Jorgamo, he escaped that angle, the vision of it. They just didn't quite catch it on, and so he does put down his adversary. Finally, Hunter's Fury, one connection in through the back of the side, but you can't let this one go. Not now, EG. Starting to make the approach in open bodies and angles here. Surely you take these fights, and surely you win them out. Jorg, his position noted and eventually dealt with. The Crew that really are just working with not too much at all. Lovely shot.
Spike down A.
They know that Shy was here. They know Shy's already got a kill from this position.
No way.
They just didn't expect him to still be there, I assume.
Yeah. Well, Apop.
Revealing it. Spike
planted. Down here, Derek. Left towards it. 1v2. Tagged up, isolates one, and the next! You need a bit of that Derek magic sometimes.
He's given it to them a couple of times throughout the match. Can't say he hasn't been there for them in the clutch. He's trying the best he can. When he's left alive in the 1v2s, he has been there, offering them lifelines. But it's not so much a rope that they can hold on to as a thin thread that threatens to snap at any moment. Under the weight of a 10-5 scoreline, down a map. That rises Derek up to the top of the scoreboard where he has his Hunter's Fury to try to put more pressure onto Crew as they enter a site or go for a plant.
Crew can begin to take a bit of a breather maybe into some of these rounds. Just play it nice and slow.
They've got a high-low setup at the start of the round there in case it was a fast B push. And now Jorg off and they double face. So they go from the high-low on B to double face into clear. Good team play between EG.
Tag, Dario to Hunter's Fury. See if he can sniff it out. Nature. It's lovely, just tracking that one. Still, Jorg did go down. A little bit prior there to Klaus. Three players now making their way forward. Superman into this position, just tucked. Unaware of really his position at all. So Nature with the flash to set himself up and alive here with heat. See if he can make anything of the moment. Spike drop down out into the open. Jiggling Superman. There was no one else to really follow up onto that one. Derek touching his head now. Needs to wait for Apop to get back into the fight. He is onto that high ground position, the high ground angle. He's been afforded a lot of liberties.
Yes, EG have been losing player advantage situations, but not in this kind of fashion.
Almost there with the reaction flick as well. The shots they need to hit, and God almighty. You've got to believe as well when it takes that long to take him out. There could have been a chance for Heat.
Scrappy as it is, though, EG get across the line. And to be honest with you, this might be the first eco I can remember Crew taking. I think there was one in the second half of Lotus, actually, and they ended up winning it.
Death is cold, friend.
But the weaponry is not going to be great here for our attack side team. Thanks to some good ideas from EG. I especially like that duo play between the two players actually at the bottom of the scoreboard there, Jorg and Apop, working together to set up a punish onto Kesnet. Initiating utility clears a path forward for the only player with the Guardian on Crew.
Kesnet forcing into it. Standard 250 credits, so...
I think he's pretty confident he can get his Blade Storm up for the next round.
Yeah, I mean, 3 orbs away. All it takes is a kill. There's going to be one away for it. Nice peek with the drone. So, put in the punishment now onto these players. The Crew really just waiting around. A little bit clueless at times is what it was looking like, but still. It's good that EG are closing out the rounds that they should be winning.
Absolutely. Because that was a massive problem for them earlier on in this series.
Yeah.
They were losing the anti-ecos, but they were also losing the player advantage spots too. It's a long way back.
You've got to take it one round at a time, and it has forced that timeout from Crew Visa.
Kesmet's economy not going to be amazing here. We said a kill, a death, and you'd be 1 away. Well, he only got the death, so now he's 2 away. Does he go for a Guardian play? Do you try to drop him a rifle and somebody else plays with inferior weaponry on this map? And on top of all of that, how do you work around what EG are doing? Because they're looking for aggressive peaks. What we've seen from EG is, at the beginning of the round, the first 10 seconds, they have setups to wait for Crew to do a fast hit.
Yeah.
And as soon as they know that Crew are not going for an immediate fast exec, then they have some other tools in the arsenal. Either double clears to flush out B, or a peek through tunnel off the back of some initiator utility. Something like that to try to regain the space that they've been forced to give up.
I mean, you have to be proactive with the CG comp as well. You don't have that the passive map control of a Sentinel. You've got to try and make plays for that, just to get the mid-round information, spot out where Crew could be.
And the slower that Crew play, the more they might be able to bait EG into making defensive, aggressive plays. And then they can maybe aim to punish them. It's a full B retake setup from EG here.
In fact, they've got, look at the amount of players down halls watching.
Yeah.
I mean, are they reading off the back of this timeout that Crew are going to try and punish maybe the fact that they don't have a Sentinel? The player lurking up towards halls. Now we know, I mean, Crew want nothing to do with this.
I mean, they've read the defensive setup perfectly. Either that, or it's just a gamble that's worked out exactly as they would like. And yeah, they have no clue that EG are playing full retake, because otherwise you would have tried to save that ultimate for Heat. But they're going to get the full B site, be able to get themselves into a post-plan situation.
Yeah.
And this is where we get to see EG's confidence. They were super confident to play B for retake. That's probably because they've got Nature's ult to scout positions, and they have a Cosmic Divide. Melser's going to find it tough to stay alive inside that pit.
But here it is, ults offloaded. Yeah. Nature, Vengeful Drift going to be pinging them out, the Cosmic Divide as well, to try and get them access and into the side here. But EG, what do they follow through? Well, they do deal with Shy. He was caught. Off onto the flank now. Pull is good as well. Kesner's position noted, occupied. Giacomo coming alive right when the team needed it, but just looking around and away. Klaus, can he collect and find his moment and his time to strike? Not quite. It's all shut down in the end, so EG, that confidence paying off in their retake abilities.
What a round from Jorg. This is the first time I think I've been able to say it this match. But he's finally got that moment under him where he's able to take control of a round. I thought we were going to see something really interesting with the Cosmic Divide Yoru ultimate. Wasn't too much going on there. Nature just used it to get a little bit of information, path into B main, come out of it, set up that pinch for the retake that we saw Crew going for as well. But they are bringing this close. 4 rounds in a row now put us within 2 in the score. And this one, an eco for Crew again.
Jorgemo's got the op here onto this angle, but he is going to be flashed off of it early. I'm curious. They react in time, playing anti-flash. Come for the peek. No, the flash disconnects, and so it forces him to use that dash earlier than he wanted. Deep down, though. Nature. But respect it once he sees the bodies here, because it earns up his knives just from the orb. Oh, we're going for a repeat. Oh, missing it. Justman there with a shot.
In the meantime, we're getting a push down elbow from Nature. He's going to meet the cam from Shy, so it's difficult for him to go much further.
Surely they hear this one though with the sound cues. Maybe, surely some punishment. No, Jordan. Oh, no way! It's been covered, Superman. I mean, the danger there was Kesnet just ready to strike, and now they've been collapsed upon.
Incredible defense from Superman there. The anti-air missiles taking down a potential threat.
1 enemy remaining.
All let down to Shy. Big stuff. Jorg's success only allowed by virtue of that kill from Superman over the top of a Viper wall, I think, as well.
Josh, I'll never underestimate, I think, our ability to curse a team. We were talking about Crew going on a run, and since then, 5 straight rounds for EG.
I take no responsibility.
You don't?
Spike down mid.
You've been the culprit.
Listen, I believe them, they lose. I don't believe in them, they win. What?
Yeah, you can't win.
What, my hands are tied.
You cannot win. This is quite aggressive now. Who's trying to force this pace? Nature, what the hell are you doing there? Where's Jorg? I mean, he's right behind them. Updraft dash into the back of the window. This is a half-baked idea at best, man. Still, damage done. Rifle out. Will he survive? Not for long. It's double face. I don't know.
I swear he got stunned by his own Astra there as well, did he?
No. The drone's not dealt with at all. I mean, Derek's been tagged up as well. They pushed up all the way through. Someone's behind them. The repeat at Derek eventually brought down. Heat shutting it down. 11 to 9. Don't ask me what the hell happened.
Well, EG pulled something out of the playbook there. A set strat, I think, although EG have been known to pull those kind of ones on the fly last year. But that to me looked like something that they cooked up before.
That's crazy.
The problem is, that idea is to, I think, catch the lurker.
Yeah.
Assuming that they would be running some kind of default that was leaning over towards the A side or mid.
Right.
You've got Jorgemo going into window, I think synced up, in theory, with the Astra stun that would be for a player hiding there. And that's synced up with somebody pushing out through B. The problem is Crew chose that one round to all be stacked up. And just go B.
Yeah.
Crew have not really been going for fast execs. Do you remember what we were talking about earlier? EG have been set up, ready to defend against fast plays. They tried some like fast A main takes, but they haven't really been doing a fast B exec. And the one time they go for it, yeah, that scuppered EG's plans and a bit of their momentum. Crew have now got a slim margin of economy to work with. It's still going to be an eco swing round coming in for them, but they're 2 away from taking the series.
So just unfortunate timing, I suppose, for EG to pull out a play like that. And it is those narrow margins, isn't it? I mean, Crew 2 more rounds away, essentially, from taking this series. 2 rounds being the difference between these 2 teams means that EG, they're on that cusp, really, trying to equalize it.
This looks like fast B again, Brett.
They're going to go for the exact same play. Surely not. So Clones, the drone, in for the cage. Nature's trying to dominate the angle, but it's too much to watch for, so Heat decides to take the fight straight to them anyway. A pit, lay it down as a bit of a reaction. This is to try and stunt that push in case it was explosive off the back of it.
And honestly, this is fine for Crew. They've got themselves into a 5v4, early pick on the Yoru, and they're playing against a team that doesn't have any Sentinel utility. There are just so many gaps around the map here. Derek needs to trust Superman at some point and just, you know, go and hold something else.
Walls up, blocks off that sideline, so now he doesn't realize at least that there's Crew players walking all the way through. Dart, let's get the one tag eventually broken. Sees him. Hunter's Fury, it's going to be used as well. Derek dodging, ducking, weaving, seeking to evade the damage. But one tag onto him, he's down to 70 health, and now he's going to land some kills. And look at the noise cues. He doesn't know which way to look. Overwhelmed in his position.
A great take from Crew. Perfect pause in the round after going up 5v4. They take mid, which is an area that EG have found to be quite weak. And now they're going to want to hunt. And look at them, already trying to take these aggressive positions. Jorg's economy not good, only 350 credits, and he's the player with the operator.
Yeah.
If you take that head, it's going to make a big difference to your chances of winning the map. Heat is also 2 away from getting up to a major attacking ultimate. Although, to be honest, when you're not playing against the Cypher,
it's not too essential, is it?
It doesn't make as big of a difference. It's not a pure win con getting the null command online. You know, teams are fairly good at setting up anti-KO setups anyway. It doesn't look like either of the EG players are going to drop here. They've got themselves into fairly safe spots, but Crew now 1 round away from putting this to bed.
A little burst as well of quickness. Just unanticipated, really, from Nature. Know which angle to watch, you can feel it settling onto the faces of the few EG players that this is it now, the turning point. Crew, 1 more round will do it.
They're set up to try to control any B aggression again, whilst actually still looking towards mid. So it's not as heavy a commitment, but it's the same kind of setup.
Nature, just missing it. Not sure if they spotted him either, but
I think they must have done, surely.
Yeah. Well, now deciding to just go straight into the B exec. Does need some supportive util, needs some help. ASAP, Nature forwards. He tried to flash himself into it. Gets blinded up, another flash as well to try and play forwards. It's such a wide face and tucked to the side. Crew, they've got the bodies now. They got the advantage and the sight is entirely theirs. Plant down into the post. Jorg moving up. He needs to hit some absolutely ridiculous shots. The rest of EG2, where that came from here. Walls up. Opportunity and chance here for Crew to reposition, which they're going to do now. Missing that one, the dart tagging them up. This is it. Dropping like flies. EG made a damn good show of things, a damn good chance of things. Derek, a final hurrah. It's the Hunter's Fury that has to be counted because he knows that they are approaching him rapidly here. Crew winning map 2. That is so damn clean.
A small streak of rounds from EG, the only resistance in an otherwise resounding victory for Crew. We talked about it last year in 2023. This was the turning point for EG. Yeah. Week 3 regular season, they got a 2-1 victory over Crew, and it sparked that upward rise. But the wins against Crew are no longer free. This is a squad that isn't just going to make the games close, they're going to blow you out.
That's the question, isn't it? Can Crew go on a run right now? It looks more and more likely. Who's going to put a stop to them? The biggest challenges and tests are upcoming, really, into this Super Week. I believe, like we've been mentioning, it's Loud who's going to be coming up next for them. But Loud are also going to be feeling the pressure. I mean, that's a team that's starting down 2 matches so far in the first split.
Absolutely. I don't think Loud are looking great in that matchup, to be honest with you. I think the Crew have got some hitters on their roster. Oh, yeah. And they've got some nice ideas. The momentum is there. And the belief as well, the belief and the confidence. 2 things that they could never really get on their side last year because everything was going there against them at the final moments. We saw so many close maps. Couldn't get a single match win over the line until LCQ. Even Kickoff wasn't that great for them, but now Crew are really here to play.
In its purest form, I mean, VALORANT really does boil down to just, you get shot, you die, and the entirety of Crew, man, they got some hitters. They really do. They can shoot back against some of the best, I think. They don't lack confidence whatsoever. They've been calling the right pauses. Klaus is calling. His macro calling, I think, we've been dead impressed with. Been singing the praise of it. There's nothing fancy, but it doesn't need to be, honestly. The simplest game plans are often the best ones when it comes to the execution of them.
And so far, we haven't actually seen Crew go up against a team that can stop the simple stuff. You know, at some point, we are probably going to see Crew facing up against a top team, whether it be Loud, whether it be LATAM, whether it be somebody in the playoffs, maybe.
Yeah.
We are going to see a match where Crew are matched pound for pound in the individuals, and then we'll see the next layer of are the game plans good enough? Are they creative enough? Do they have what it takes in their core?
Or are they a gatekeeper team?
Yeah, but at the moment it's so tough to tell because they're just smoking people in matches like this.
They're looking good. They're looking large and in charge and well on their way. I mean, that momentum means a lot for them, I think, as well. Starting up now, what is it? 3 series. Up into the split. 3-0.
3-0.
Big deal, man. It's actually a massive deal in terms of the long term.
They're going to go 9-0.
They're going to go 9-0.
No,
there's not that many matches in split 1.
I'm not going to put my reputation on that.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy.
What shreds of it are left?
Okay,
anyway.
let's send it over to Elizabeth. She's down on the stage for the Verizon post-match interview.
And I'm here with the star, Melser from Crew Visa. You guys aren't nearly as loud as you were 2 seconds ago. And also here with Dryad, who'll be translating for me. Congratulations on a great map. The first thing I have to ask you is about Klaus calling. Does that enable you to frag out more?
La primera pregunta que tienes acerca de Klaus siendo el IGL, ¿eso te permite conseguir más eliminaciones?
Sí, obvio. Siempre Klaus fue un IGL nato. Él viene de Crew desde antes IGLeando. Y yo era un player que no era IGL, me tuve que adaptar al equipo, entonces se naturalizó más el juego cambiando los roles.
He says, yes, obviously Klaus is an IGL natural since the beginning, and when they changed roles, when Melser was the IGL, it was something that came a little bit less natural, so coming Klaus, it definitely allows them to frag more.
Do you feel more comfortable now that you're not calling?
¿Te sientes más cómodo ahora que no estás haciendo el IGL?
Sí, obviamente. Es lo que yo estaba haciendo antes, desde mi equipo anterior. Entonces, siento que puedo desarrollarme más en mi juego al no estar preocupado de otro trabajo.
He says, yes, obviously he can develop his own gameplay a lot more now that he's not taking care of everything else.
Now, the big talk about Crew is how much you have improved, and you're in the conversation to make Shanghai. Do you think Crew Visa, in the form they are currently, can qualify to Shanghai?
Una de las cosas que es el tema de conversación ahorita es Crew y en la forma en la que vienen. ¿Crees que Crew es tema de conversación para clasificar a Shanghai ahorita?
Yo creo que sí. Creo que pasamos de ser un equipo, perdedor a ser uno ganador. Creo que estamos trabajando mucho más duro y que también cambiamos roles para que fuéramos más eficientes, como el cambio de IGL y la incorporación de HIT.
He's saying yes, they went from a losing team to a winning team, and they changed a lot of things like the IGLing role to make it happen, and also change roles inside of the game to get those wins. They're working a lot harder, and also the incorporation of Heat is helping a lot.
Yes, well, gracias and congratulations. Everyone give it up for Melser one more time. An incredible performance. But do not go away because we have a sick game of NRG versus the Vietons, so stay right there.
Red Bull gives you wings.
step into the ring.